Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and make a video of putting this carburetor back together. We already have the the other side done over here. My camera stand does not want to cooperate lately. We put the other one back together. We put we had a 150 jet. We put a 140 in there. We shrunk the air jet down to the smaller two that I had. And we're going to go over here now to this one. We already have our jet installed. And we're going to reassemble the float and show you the ground there. Shaky cam. But anyway, sorry about that, guys. It's hard to get a good shot of doing carburetor work, and it makes for a boring video, but the owner of the car won't be bored. I wanted to sort of see how to do this. We've already changed our jet, 135s. I said 140 earlier, but I went with 135s. We might have to go to the 140s. I don't know. I'm going to tune it for the weather that I have here today. I realize it's going to be much colder where the motor's going, and that'll change the idle jet and the main jet. So you know, I am trying to get it as close as possible. We have a bigger throttle body here. We have a bigger venturi. We have a lot of variables. So the 150 is just way too much jet for this motor. So we have to start somewhere. We might end up with a 140, but I like we can go with the 135s and it runs good there. We'll go with that. The reason why I'm choosing the 135s over the 140s is the heater boxes, the exhaust system. We have a much smaller cam. These carburetors were recently, or the last time that they were running, were on a 2300cc motor, which is quite big. So you know, we're trying to work with what we got here. So we have our main jet installed. I showed you how that goes in last night. We reinstalled our idle jet over on the side there. Now we're going to reinstall the float. Just drop it in like so. There's a little slot. It's pretty foolproof. You got the dog bone next. You're going to set that down in there, and that just sits on top of the pin. Next, we're going to put our gasket up here. Gasket only goes one way. It'll have a cutout for your discharge tube, and it's got a little hole at this end for your needle and seat to go through. So that's it. That's pretty much it. We changed our main jet out. We changed our idle jet out. And let me just get the magnifying glass. Those were definitely 150s, which is pretty big for this size motor. So we'll see what it runs like with these. You know, you want to get the tune up close. You don't want it to be running real fat and washing the cylinders down. So obviously it runs fat, but for optimum driving conditions, it wouldn't be the setup. We're going to be this motor will probably see lower engine speeds than higher engine speeds, and if you had an all-out drag motor or you were really running it hard all the time, you know, you might use that 150 jet, but that possibly could even been on a, that's pretty that's a lot of fuel. So now we're going to reinstall our stainless steel screws, try to get them started by hand. They can mess the threads up. Should all have a washer under them. They do now. And you want to keep a washer under them. And the car is going to sit outside or see a lot of snow or whatever, salt. Might want to think about just a dab of anti-seize on the stainless steel, but we'll get it tuned first. And Scooter takes a fine, he does a fine wipe of silicone around the edge of the carburetor, very fine, and keeps the carburetor from seeping. I don't do that. unless the carburetor starts to seep. He doesn't like to ever see it seep because then the carburetor gets stained and it looks bad. But I know that if silicone gets in fuel, it'll deteriorate, and any possibility of stuff getting in the float bowl, I really don't want to take a chance on. However, you know, he puts it on very careful and it doesn't get in the float bowl, and it just keeps the carburetor sealed. So it's perfect personal preference. Come on, where's the hole? And that's it. Carburetors are obviously still in sync, so we don't have to synchronize them. We're going to put air cleaners on because we want to simulate the running condition. So that. We'll change one thing at a time. We're not going to change the distributor this time. If you're ever doing tuning, you know you want to tune one item at a time. We'll get the carburetors where they're sweet with this distributor, and then we'll pop in the other one and give it a try. You know, but you don't want to change the distributors and the jets at the same time because we'll be able to tell what kind of direction you went. You changed two things. Oh, that's going to be an awful video. Anywho, I can make it private, I guess, and just send it to you, Greg. Whatever. But get this air cleaner here. Put this one together earlier today. Waiting on Musty One's parents to get here. Darren's parents are going to look at their van. Got a little rust issue here and there. And we might be fixing that up for them. So we're going to bring that by. I'm going to take a look at it. And maybe that'll be an upcoming project. So anyway, had a couple people, Yahoo was wanting to know if he'll be able to hear a difference. And I don't know if you'll hear it on video or if your ears tuned to it. Guys like Ziggy will hear a difference. You know, he'll tell me if they sound crisp or not, you know. That's the jet change will give it the crispness when you hit the throttle, you know. Right now, well, last time we fired it up, it was puffing black smoke, because it was pretty fat, you know. So we did two things here. We adjusted the idle jet, which affects the way it idles, and we also leaned down our main jet quite a bit. It was pretty fat. So we'll put our jets back in our bag, and if this is too lean, then we'll go to the 140s. But I think it's going to be pretty nice, just like this. So we'll get the bell housing on there next, get that dug out, and put that on. And I'll turn this back on when I fire the motor up.